Rejoice had the kind of voice that could make anyone stop in their tracks. It was raw, emotional, and powerful. She didn't need fancy instruments or a full band. Her voice was the instrument. She could sing a simple lullaby, and it would move people to tears. The kind of voice you couldn't forget. I used to call her the voice of an angel. Her best friend, Joy, was a talented fashion designer. She had an eye for detail and could make anything look like high fashion. The two of them were inseparable. Rejoice's voice and Joy's designs made them an unstoppable duo. They started small, with Rejoice performing at local clubs and events while Joy designed her outfits. They dreamed of making it big one day, but things took an unexpected turn. One rainy night, Rejoice was driving home after a gig when disaster struck. A car accident. It was bad. She was rushed to the hospital, and when she woke up, she was barely able to recognize herself. Her face had been severely damaged, deep cuts, bruises, and scars. They wrapped her up in bandages, and for the first time in years, Rejoice felt truly vulnerable. Her beauty had always been a part of her identity, and now it was gone. She was terrified people wouldn't accept her. She didn't know if her singing career would survive. But here's the thing: Rejoice refused to let the accident define her. She kept singing. Even with the bandages on her face, she sang with all her heart. And somehow, her voice became even more haunting, more powerful. The raw emotion in her singing touched people in a way it never had before. Soon, Rejoice's songs started gaining attention online. Her tracks went viral. The world was listening. She was offered a contract from a small music company, and for a moment, she thought her dreams were finally coming true. But she had one big fear: how would people react to her face? Would they mock her? Would they care about her voice if she didn't look like she used to? This is where Joy came in. Joy had been there for her through everything. She was supportive and offered to help Rejoice navigate this new phase of her career. Rejoice, relieved by her friend's support, agreed. Joy told her, "Don't worry, Rejoice. I'll help you. We'll get you a good deal." However, things started to feel a little off. When Rejoice signed the contract, Joy made it clear that she was going to take 95% of the deal, leaving Rejoice with only 5%. Rejoice was hesitant but trusted Joy because of their long friendship. Maybe Joy knew what was best for her. Rejoice didn't have experience in the business world, so she trusted Joy's expertise. As Rejoice's career skyrocketed, things began to change. She started performing in front of huge crowds, her songs climbing the charts, but the more successful she became, the more Joy seemed to focus on her own gain. Joy's greed became apparent. She pushed Rejoice to take less money for herself, telling her it was all for the long-term success. It felt off, but Rejoice was still too focused on her music to question her best friend. Then, everything hit the fan. A huge company reached out to Rejoice, offering her a $30 million contract. This was the big one. The kind of contract that made dreams come true. Rejoice was ecstatic but nervous. The pressure was on, and this time, she wasn't sure if she wanted to sign. She didn't trust Joy anymore, not after seeing how greedy she had become. But at the same time, Rejoice didn't want to turn her back on her friend completely. The day of a big performance came, and Rejoice was supposed to perform at this huge event. The crowd was massive. Joy was in charge of the performance, and she was ready to shine. But when Joy stepped onto the stage, the crowd didn't react. It was awkward, silent. The energy was completely flat. Joy tried to hype the crowd, but nothing worked. There was no buzz. Then, Rejoice took the stage. The moment Rejoice's voice filled the air, the crowd erupted. People cheered, they screamed, they were completely mesmerized by her voice. The room was alive. It was her, it was always her. But then, Joy noticed something that made her freeze in fear. Rejoice's face, the scars were gone. The bandages were no longer there. Rejoice had healed, and Joy didn't even know. What terrified Joy even more was the realization that she had been manipulated. Rejoice had kept the healing a secret. She had known all along that her appearance wouldn't matter, it was always about the music. But she'd also wanted to test Joy's loyalty. Joy stood backstage, trembling. The realization hit her like a ton of bricks. Her best friend had known the truth the whole time. She had been testing her, and Joy had failed miserably. Her greed had overshadowed their friendship, and now, Rejoice was on top, with no need for anyone else to hold her down. It was too late for apologies. Rejoice's career was no longer tied to Joy's influence. She had built her own success, and Joy had become irrelevant. So, if you ever find yourself in a situation where your ambition clouds your morals, remember this: the truth will always come out. And sometimes, it's too late to fix things. Moral of the story: never bet on your friend's loyalty if you're only looking for your own gain. Because in the end, people like Rejoice, they don't need anyone to shine, they shine all on their own. Please don't forget to subscribe, like and share for more interesting stories.